In this video, we're going to be doing a refresher of Worship Extreme and the basic setting up of a template. Hey folks, AJaytheCEO here. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So this is going to be considered a training, obviously. I got a message from, and again, I don't want to, actually, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. I'm just going to put it up here. I got a message here from Instagram that they're having some problems displaying scripture on the screen, as well as finding a template and pushing out stuff to a projector. So I'm going to kind of try and break this down. Again, this is going to be considered training in Worship Extreme. So I'm just going to go through it all over again with the templates and kind of putting all this stuff together. All right. So let's go ahead and cut over to the computer. So I'm here in Worship Extreme. This is version 2019.4.9. So what we're going to do is first, let's go over here to our settings, and we're going to go the gear, then settings. Now this is going to be your, let's go to screen configuration. So the first thing that they're wondering about not being able to get stuff on the secondary screen. So first, obviously, if you're running this, you need to have your computer needs to be capable of dual outputs. So one screen is what you're seeing right now, and screen number 2 is going to be what is going to be presented, pushed out, and that's why mine is blank right now, because I'm not showing anything. You have to be able to do this, and even if your computer does not have this built in, you can always buy a USB display adapter. I actually had that at my church, and it's in a box over here somewhere, so can't really dig that out to find it, but it's very simple to add another monitor even if it's not built into your computer. So that's the first thing that you need. Now if you didn't have that there's this little checkbox here that will give you a preview where you can't see me right now, but right here, right here is the preview of what you could see if you didn't have that local secondary screen close to you. Like at my church, I have 2 monitors set beside each other, so the one on the right shows a preview of, shows the output of what our software is pushing out, as well as what's on the projector. If you don't have that type of setup, this little window will give you a preview of what's going on, and you can turn that on or off right here. As you can see, turned it on, right, off. All right, so that's the first thing. Now the second thing is making templates. Now if we go back to our settings here, oh, I was already in it. If we go here to defaults, we have our default song template, our default Bible template, and some other defaults here. These are the main 2 that we want to focus on here, and these are the templates of what you're going to see, how everything defaultly is going to be displayed. Now if you want to make other templates, we come up here to songs, and you can go to templates right here, and you can create them. So I've made a couple, but we'll just make another one just in case, and we'll do a lower third. All right, so now if you've been following any of my other videos, which I will tag up here, if you're trying to do picture in picture, meaning that you put the lower thirds at the bottom of the screen so that people can still see the video of what's going on, what you need to do is change the margin of this to where it's going to move itself down. So you have this, and we want to move from the top, and we would keep playing around with these numbers until it's comfortable. And let's do 300. Nope, not enough. 600. Let's move one more time. 700. All right, so something like this. This is meaning that it will not go any higher than that. It will stay within the confines of that. And it's as simple as that. You give it a name, and I'll just say, just call it just lower third 2. All right, we can just save that, and there are multiple ways to play around with this. You can put a border around it, fill it with a color, put a bar around it like this. This is what I normally do at my church, but again, I don't use black. I use a white bar, just so it won't erase that. You could do a blur in there, do a fill. I mean, you can play around with this stuff, you know, whatever is comfortable. Again, or you can make a complete solid background if you're using this in OBS and you want to use a chroma key to erase the color. That will work as well too. Now, if we were coming here and doing a full screen, let's go back here and create a new one. We're going to do this full screen, and let's pick my font. I've been using Product Sans from Google. And let's crank up the size here to maybe about 100. All right. Now you can always play around with this. Come in here and say you want to transform it, make it all uppercase no matter what. You can do a line background. Let's do it a different color so it makes a bar behind each line. That way you can avoid having to do the box around it. But again, you can play around with that. And then because we're going to use this as full screen, we don't necessarily want to do this, but I might want to do this as 30 and 30 so it'll shrink it in on both sides. All right. I can't, yeah, seeing if y'all can see both my hands. And then we'll just call this full screen 2. And you can play around with this. So the other one actually was for uppercase. We can change this to all lowercase if you want. And there's a bunch of ways that you can play around with that, but that's really simple on how you need to do this. So now if we come back into settings after we've made our template, we can come in here and say, oh, I want to use full screen 2 for songs by default, or full screen 2 for our scripture. All right. So now let's come in here and make a new playlist. And now remember, the free one has bumped it up to where you can do 15 items. Now again, I'm still using the full here, so we'll just do 11, 20, 2019. Well, I'll just call it training. That'll be easier. All right, so now we're going to come in here and make a new cue list, and let's pick a background here. I want to just do video, and there's my fire one. I don't want to do that. Let's just do this one. Oh, I didn't download. That's the reason why I was taking there. All right, if we check that off, that's what we're going to use. And now we can come in here to our scripture, and I'll just do James 1. And here's our template again. I'm going to select this as full 2, or we could have did lower 2, whichever one. But this is meant for full screen. All right, and we're done. Oh, I need to hit search for the Bible. All right, now we just do launch, and if I cut over to the second monitor, you can see this is what's been outputted. I can go through here, go to the next screen, go to the next scripture, on, and it stays within the confines of what we set. Now, if we come back over here, let's edit this cue. Let's get rid of this background here. Change this to none, and then we're going to change this to lower 2. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. And if we switch over, there you go. All right, and it will stay within the confines of everything that we just did, and really simple. All right, so I hope that answered your question. Now, one thing, Again, I don't mind y'all sending me the questions, but I think at the amount of what we're doing so far, because we've added so many subscribers and stuff like that, I'm getting a lot of communications from a lot of different sources. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer, leave them in the comments in YouTube or email me at this email address down here, because it just makes it easier. Because I know when I get a message on Instagram or on Facebook or something like that, most of the time I'm catching it on my phone and I don't have enough place to type a full long message on that. So it's easier if you want to send me a question or something like that, email me at ajhomes.com. Really appreciate that. And again, hopefully that answers your question. So anyway, we will catch you on the next video. But before I say that, I should have said, if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other new videos to help modernize your media ministry. This is AJ, and we will see you on the next video. Later.